I was facing eviction, and if it wasn't for Greenbelt Cares, I don't know what I would have done.
Since the pandemic started, many residents have been facing evictions. Many of them have lost their job and are facing losing their homes. But thanks to Greenbelt Cares, a community organization here at Greenbelt meant to help residents, some of them have been able to stay at their homes.
So I was on the verge of getting evicted for the months of September and October, but thanks to them, that's not the case anymore.
Well, they cut a check to my landlord because I had applied for assistance to get help for my rent. And they gave the check, I picked the check up and they paid my landlord, and it helped me to not get evicted. I was very well on the list of eviction.
They got my information probably about 2 weeks later. They called me. They were like, "Oh, well, we have a check for you. Come pick it up." Okay, I'll be there. Thank you.
Dr. Liz Park, the director of Greenbelt Cares, said the city of Greenbelt has received $30,000 grant to help with housing eviction. The grant not only covers the cost of the rent, but also covers other utilities around the home, such as the water bill or the electricity bill.
Everyone that we have helped has been able to stay housed because we were able to help them get caught up on their rent. And then also some outstanding utilities that they may have. And then we also connected people up with food resources, energy assistance programs in the county for ongoing need they may have.
There are a number of things that the city, myself, we are working on to try to address the housing insecurity.
And so to date, I think we have helped about 76 families, and then we're hoping to help another, 15 to 20.
Unfortunately, not all of them have been able to get the help that they needed because of the limited amount of funds needed to cover everyone that is facing eviction. Some of them have had troubles with their landlords.
A ban on rent increases, a rent freeze, so that in the middle of this pandemic, when people's incomes are either stagnating or going down, or outright being evaporated, we don't have landlords that callously are able to increase tenants' rent at this very vulnerable time.
Jonathan Walker, who's a Greenbelt resident, says his rental office at Franklin Park apartment did not tell him about the housing grant. He wrote in an email, "I feel like they send a newsletter out every month about what's going on in the community, but not about that program that would have helped so many now." Mayor Bird says that the board is still working on the legislation on rent freeze to help those that are facing eviction and currently have no jobs.
The first and foremost is rental assistance, in part through expenditures from the city itself, but also through funds that we received through the CARES Act earlier. We continue to advocate for the federal government to provide additional assistance so that we can extend that to our residents as well. We certainly don't want to prohibit anybody from being able to make a living, but you can't make a living off the backs of the most vulnerable individuals in the middle of a global pandemic. And so while those disagreements may have taken place and they may continue to take place, we have to have the resolve to push past that on behalf of our constituents. And so unfortunately, we have seen that that the leniency that I think a lot of our tenants would benefit from, that they would like, has not been fully extended by some of the major landlords, apartment complexes in the city. And so as a consequence, we need to provide a legislative fix, a public policy solution to that end.
We all just have to stand in unity together, even your neighbor, you have to help your neighbor. If they need food, help them get food or direct them to where they can get the food from,
I'm Kellina Wanteu from the Greenbelt Access TV here in Greenbelt.